Hey, graphic design students. Remember last week we created our cartoon cowboy and then colored him with Pixlr. We're going to continue that by making a quarantine comic strip. And we're going to use this character and try to shed some humor on the whole quarantine situation. So, what you're going to do is first draw a comic strip on paper and read the lesson. I've got a template you can use if you want, or you can make your own kind of panel layout, but you need at least 3 panels. And then take a photo of that or scan it, email it to yourself, get it on your Chromebook or computer however you can, and then open it like so. So I've got my COVID cowboy. I traded his mustache out for a N95 mask, and pretty much the same operation. I'm just going to share with you a couple tips I've learned fiddling with Pixlr. If you didn't do the character last week, no big deal. Just get caught up this week by making the cartoon. We'll build upon these lessons. The more familiar you become with Pixlr right now, the more successful I think you're going to be when we start doing more stuff with it. So the first thing I want to share with you is, it's one thing to draw a single cartoon character or a simple face like we did last time. It's another to draw like the body in different camera angles, different positions. So if you see this one in the corner here, I've got the guy kind of holding the soap out towards you like that. That was kind of a hard thing for me to draw because of the foreshortening. So I was going to show you how I solved that by taking a photograph of myself like this, and I flipped it. That's why all the text is backwards. I'm holding a little external storage drive instead of a bar of soap in my hand, but that helped me figure out how to draw this cowboy figure right there. Another thing that might be useful too is before you even start, go ahead and do an adjustment. This Pixlr has adjustments layered just like Photoshop does, and throw like a brightness and contrast one. You can either increase the contrast, you'll see the lines get a little darker like that, or what's even better than that, and my favorite way to do this is to use the levels adjuster and just bring up the blacks, and your outlines will become a little darker. And you can bring up the whites a little bit too, just to increase the contrast. It makes your outlines a little bit bold and get some of the smudges and pencil marks and stuff to just disappear. Let's see, check. Got a list here of things I wanted to show you. You guys, I already showed you how to do the gradient last time, but just in case you missed that lesson, this is a good one to know. So if I wanted to put a sunset in the background of this, I'm going to choose the magic wand and click the background, and I'm also going to hold shift so I can get this part between his legs there. And I got some things that I didn't really want to. Okay, I'm going to show you how to remove part of a selection that you did if you made too much. So I can grab the lasso tool, click this option right here, which removes from a selection. And then you can just kind of draw a little circle around the part that you want to remove. Okay, so again, the gradient works like this. Choose it. Click on it if you want to change the colors of the gradient. Say I want to do a sunset. I'm going to choose a nice bright red for the top, and then we'll have that fade to a yellow color towards the bottom. A brighter yellow than that. That's pretty good, I guess. Okay, then you just drag the gradient in, and it lays in there for you like so. I got a little too much of his vest there though, so I should have unselected that or closed the gaps. But you get the idea there, I think. Another thing I want you to be aware of when you're making a selection with this tool, you can adjust the tolerance. So if I have the tolerance at the current default level of 32, it's only going to select what's in there. If I wanted to do a little bit more than that, I can increase the tolerance, and sometimes it'll get too much. That might help you with selection. It may not. It's a good thing to be aware of. That tolerance also works with the paint bucket tool. So if I just wanted to say fill this in, my tolerance is 32 here. It just fills in that. If I want to fill less or more, I can adjust the tolerance on that as well. Another thing might be useful to you is just to know how to zoom. 2 fingers on your trackpad just zooms in or out, and as well as 2 fingers zoom in and out. That's useful, and then hold the space bar to kind of scroll around within Pixlr to look at some details. So that's useful to know. Another cool thing I discovered is a quick color picker. So if you're changing the color, these are colors that you've recently used down here. So if I wanted that same red again to put into the sky here, I could do that quickly. You see, the reason that this thought bubble filled in is because I did not fill that completely again. So you can use your paintbrush, choose a really small pixel level, like 2 or 1, and then I like to lower the opacity just a little bit so it's not quite as harsh. Choose a black color and then come in and fill that. And then as I zoom out here, you should see that I'll switch back to the paint bucket and just choose white here. Click on this and that should go back to normal for us. Okay, so zooming, quick color picker. Let's see. Another cool thing to know about Pixlr is it automatically saves for you, so you don't have to save it. The working document just saves on Pixlr for you. And if it gets stuck on you, which occasionally it does, just refresh Pixlr. Just go back to home and come back in like this. You can see it saved that version. When you go back in, it should have refreshed for you. Anyway, that's my finished version. Hope it works for you guys. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Send me an email or give me a call if you have any questions about it. Take care.